There's a funny paradox at the heart of just about every successful CPA firm. The very growth that you've worked so hard for can start to feel less like a victory and a lot more like a crisis. So today, we're going to talk about how to architect the solution, a future-proof back office that's built not just to survive that growth, but to actually drive it. So let's just ask the tough question right out of the gate. For your firm, does success feel like a crisis? I mean, think about it. Your firm is doing great, you've got more clients, higher billings, but behind the curtain, the pressure is just building. If that success feels more like you're running out of runway, you are definitely not alone. It's the classic sign that your operations just haven't caught up with your ambition yet. So what does that breaking point really look like? Well, it's that moment where the systems that got you to this point suddenly become the very things that are holding you back. It's like hitting an invisible wall, where the old ways of doing things just can't handle the pressure of all that new growth. Do any of these sound familiar? You've got managers burning the midnight oil, just trying to keep up. Your best, most senior people are stuck doing routine processing instead of high-value strategic work. That hiring cycle feels like a revolving door that never, ever stops spinning. And after every single busy season, team morale just takes a nosedive. Listen, these aren't just signs that you're busy. They are symptoms of a deep structural break. And that right there, that gets to the absolute heart of it. I'm willing to bet your team is working harder than ever before. The problem isn't a lack of effort, it's a problem with the structure. You've simply outgrown the blueprint that got you this far. So what's the fix? Well, it's about moving past the temporary solutions, right? Instead of just patching the leaks, it's time for a fundamental redesign of how you deliver your work. And this means looking at a modern outsourcing partner not as a band-aid for when you're overwhelmed, but as a core piece of your operational strategy. And let's be really clear about the difference here. The old way of outsourcing was kind of like send work and hope. You'd basically throw tasks over a wall to some disconnected third party and just cross your fingers. The modern approach, it's the complete opposite. It's all about deep integration. They become an extension of your team, they're embedded in your process, and they're built right into your long-term strategy. So how do you make this integrated model a real practical solution? Well, when you look at global hubs for accounting talent, one place comes up again and again: India. And today, the reasons why go way, way beyond just saving a few bucks. This is where the real advantage is. It's specialization. You're not just getting extra hands here. You're getting access to professionals who are already trained in US GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, and IRS rules. These are folks who get the workflow of a real CPA firm. They bring a serious discipline to documentation, and this part is absolutely crucial. They give you the power to scale your capacity up or down whenever you need to without the massive fixed cost of another full-time hire. Okay, let's put this into practice with the ultimate stress test for any CPA firm: tax season. Here's the truth. Tax season is won or lost months before it even starts. It all comes down to how you prepare strategically. Think of this as the playbook for a much calmer tax season. First, you strategically figure out which returns are the best fit for your offshore team. Second, you standardize everything. Make your work papers and documentation completely consistent. Third, you set up crystal clear review layers and timelines so everyone knows who does what and when. And finally, number 4, you train that team on your firm's specific way of doing things before the chaos hits. See, it's proactive reinforcement, not last-minute rescue. And the payoff for doing all that prep? Oh, it's huge. Instead of constantly putting out fires and managing bottlenecks, your partners and your managers can actually focus on what they do best: high-level reviews and valuable strategic conversations with clients. You literally shift from reactive damage control to proactive client service. Now, of course, a big strategic shift like this is going to come with some questions, some hesitations, and it's so important to tackle those head on. So let's separate the myths from the reality and get a really clear picture of what we're talking about. All right, let's start with the biggest fear of them all: losing control. This idea that if the work is being done thousands of miles away, you're going to somehow lose your grip on the process and the quality. And look, that's a completely valid concern. But here's the thing that might surprise you. The reality is just the act of preparing to work with an offshore team forces you to document and standardize your workflows like never before. And that standardization, it doesn't lead to a loss of control. It actually gives you more control. It creates amazing visibility and makes your whole process rock solid and predictable. Okay, the next big one is, of course, about quality. Can a team halfway across the globe really meet the same demanding standards that your firm and your clients expect?
The reality is pretty simple. Quality is a function of your process, not your geography. With top-notch training, bulletproof documentation, and a really tough review process led by your own CPAs, you are always in control of the final quality. Where the work gets done, it becomes totally irrelevant.
And finally, we have to talk about the most important person in the room, the client. What are they going to think? Is there a risk you could lose their trust if you're using an offshore team for back office work? This is where the design of this model is so brilliant. All of the client-facing communication, the relationship itself, it all stays right here with your U.S. firm. Your clients just keep dealing with the same trusted advisors they've always known. From their point of view, nothing changes, except, they get consistently fantastic work delivered on time every time. You're just improving the engine. You're not changing the driver. So, if we put this all together, what are the core principles for building a back office that doesn't just survive growth, but actually helps you grow faster? What does a truly resilient operating model look like?
It really just comes down to 3 fundamental pillars. First, process before people. Nail down your workflows before you add anyone to them. Second, oversight drives confidence. Your senior CPAs have to own and lead that review process. It's non-negotiable. And third, design this for the long term. Don't just patch things up for the short term. This isn't a temporary fix, it's a permanent evolution of how your firm operates.
So if there's one single thing to take away from all this, it's this. When you hit that breaking point, the knee-jerk reaction is always, we need to hire more people. But the truly smart strategic move might not be to just add more people to a broken system. It's to fundamentally redesign how your work gets done in the first place.
So the question I want to leave you with is this. Take a hard look at your own firm, at your team's workload, at your biggest dreams for the future. Is your back office an anchor holding you back from that future? Or is it an engine that's ready to power what's next?